Ladies and gentlemen, your sweet, sick Zionist white colonizer, to all the traveling clack coming to you live from the United States of America. We've got an update on Iran and Trump. Let's take a look here.
Iran wants to deal with us, but they don't know how. They really don't know how. We had a meeting with them on Saturday. We have another meeting scheduled next Saturday. I said, that's a long time. That's a long time. So I think they might be tapping us along. But Iran has to get rid of the concept of a nuclear weapon. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. He can't have a nuclear weapon. Nobody can have. We can't have anybody having nuclear weapons, We can't have nuclear weapons. And I think they're tapping us along because we're so used to dealing with stupid people in this country. And I had Iran perfect. You had no attacks. You would have never had October 7 in Israel, the attack by Hamas, because Iran was broke. They were stone cold broke when I was president.
It's very interesting to see Trump's analysis on the situation because I think from the Israeli perspective, this is something we all kind of knew. Like, Iran is not serious about dealing with the United States of America. They're mostly looking to string along and buy time, as they always have been. When I say Iran, I mean the Islamic regime of Iran. Iran has one interest and one interest only. It's not to make money. It's not to serve its people. It's to survive. The Islamic regime, that is. If they fall, then they lose all power and they lose all availability to control these proxies in the Middle East and bring on whatever weird perverted Islamic end of the world they're trying to bring on. We're looking at a reality here where Iran is desperate and afraid. It looks like, however much the Iranian, Russian, Chinese propaganda was trying to show that America totally failed in Yemen, it looks like they actually did deal a serious blow to the Yemeni Houthis, the terrorist group that's backed by Iran, because while they have been firing at Israel, it's nowhere near the capacity, and it looks like America actually did deal some serious blows. Like, it doesn't look like Trump was bluffing. It looks like actually they have dealt some very, very tough blows towards the Yemeni Houthis. In addition to that, like we've reiterated a million times on this channel since Trump took the presidency, we're looking at an Israel that's way more bullish. An Israel that's way more ready to strike Donald Trump, or that with Donald Trump is way more ready to strike the Islamic regime of Iran. Now, it's to be seen what actually will be the choice of the Israeli government here. Will they pursue a plan of going forth and preemptively attacking Iran? You have to remember that Iran's defenses are low. They don't have the money. They don't have the infrastructure to fight back now. There's a small element that I'm seeing over the news in the last couple of days. None of it is verifiable. I'm assuming that there's forces at play here that do know if it's verifiable or not, that Iran may have already potentially developed a nuclear weapon. Now, as for its efficacy, as for their strategy with using it, that may not be set in stone, and they may not actually be ready to use it. But I have seen these rumors that Iran has actually already potentially created the bomb, has already created the nuclear weapon, and it's just a matter of time now before they start whipping it around and threatening people with it. There's one last element to remember here. Trump's base. Trump's actually two parts, but I'll do Trump's base. Trump's base does not want Trump to go to war with Iran. No matter if, what, how, Trump's base, the people who voted Trump in power, do not want him to go to war with Iran. The people who do in Trump's base are a minority of his base, and he will lose support and lose support quickly from his base. His base will turn on him if a new conflict in the Middle East begins, especially if it somehow starts affecting the lives of Americans. You have to remember that tariffs are already in play, so Americans are going to be stressed right now because the stock market's like this, the economy's like this. If a war begins, we have even more instability in the United States of America for American people. His base will turn on him, and the whole thing could go kaput. So he's desperately trying to put in some sort of diplomatic effect here while still strong-arming Iran throughout the entire journey, because Trump's going to Trump, Trump's going to keep trumping along. The interesting thing is, it's clear to see that he can call Iran's bluff. He knows that they probably don't have a real intention with negotiating because they need this bomb to survive. There's such a conflict of interest going on here between the U.S. and Iran. It's literally the exact opposite, and obviously that's what negotiations are for, but it seems like both countries are on such opposite ends of the spectrum. Well, you have one sovereign nation and one dictatorship. They're so opposite of what the goal needs to be accomplished, that it's nearly impossible to find a way for them to actually come to the table and I mean, there's going to have to be serious concessions done on both that will potentially hurt the survivability of both politicians or both leaders. So if Trump makes concessions on both ends, he could potentially lose a lot. And if the Ayatollah / the IRGC make concessions, they're going to lose everything because they're just a couple steps away from the whole thing collapsing. So when we think of Iran, this is a very, 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 very complicated situation. And I don't think that there's going to be a solution quickly, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think this might drag out. Trump has every interest to keep dragging it out too. And not in a disrespectful way to Trump. He just has to figure something out that won't be going against his base. And I want to add one last note about this whole going against your base thing. I've talked this ad nauseum, but I'll say it again. If you think for one reason and for one way that what happens in the Middle East is not going to come for you here in America, you are a fool. You are a fool. Go look at Europe and see what happened under 4 years of Joe Biden in America and how Trump is actually deporting these Hamas supporters on the street. If you think for one moment, that what's the ideology of Islamism and jihadism is not coming to America, people have been talking about this since I was a kid. You have the likes of Brigitte Gabriel and all the amazing people like her who have been talking about this very serious threat. If you think for one moment this is not coming for you, and that you can just get away by not supporting Israel's wars because Israel's just warring with everybody. If you think for one moment it's not coming for you, you are a fool, my friend. Remember, they call Israel the little devil. They call America the big devil. Israel's just in the way. Israel's just in their way. You are the target. Americans back home, whether you're an American Christian or an American Muslim or an American Jew. And if you think somehow what's going on in the Middle East and Israel doesn't involve you, and it's not because Israel supported America, you have always been the target. You just haven't felt it. But now that shit's getting closer. So get ready. I'm not telling you blindly support Israel, but remember that the money that you give to Israel, you're not even giving Israel money really to support. You're giving weapons, contracts, and discounts on buying weapons, which go right back into stimulating the American economy. And it's not even that much money. It's not that much money comparatively to the rest of the money that the America dishes out to some jihadi nations, to countries like Egypt and Jordan who openly advocate for the destruction of the West, or at least their society does, not their government. You need to remember whose side you're on. And if you think you can stay in isolationist America that's just going to run away from the war in the Middle East, that shit is coming for you. If you think it's just Israel, we're just in the way because we're the Jews. They come for us first. They're coming for you too. If you think for a moment they're not coming for you, and this involves every American, whether you're a Hindu or a Buddhist or a Christian or even an American Muslim, it comes for all of us. It doesn't discriminate. October 7th, they killed everybody. They killed the Muslims, they killed Christians, they killed Jews, they killed Buddhists, they killed Nepali, they killed Tanzanians. When Iran launched its ballistic missiles at Israel, who did they injure? Arabs. Who did they injure? Muslims. Who did they kill? A Palestinian. When Hezbollah fires its rockets, who did they kill? 12 Druze children. Arabs, or people who are Arabized, in a fucking soccer field. This doesn't discriminate how you follow your politics. It doesn't discriminate right or left. It doesn't discriminate if you voted for Trump or if you voted for Kamala. This is a cancer. This is an evil that is coming for each and every single one of us. And Israel is fighting your fight. I'm not saying support Israel blindly. I'm not saying give Israel all the money. But what I'm saying is realize who your enemies are. Because whether you like it or not, or if you want peace with these people, they are your enemy. They want to kill you. Get your shit straight. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching my video, and I will see you guys in the next one. I love you long time. Goodbye, clats. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.